You're a
Feel free
casual,
to
right?
use
Yeah.
that. Me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
all
too.
day.
Yeah. I remember when we chatted before, we were like,
We should
we
play
did something.
together. I think we
I
should
wish.
do dynamic poetry writing as people walk by with their character names.
I love that.
You know what, fellas? I'm gonna pull an old iDubbbz here. We're not gonna be talking about Holly Longdale today. In recent times, I feel like World of Warcraft is actually okay. Besides, I found not just one, but two people who really piss me off that deserve to be called out. Those two people being Alyssa Mercante and one of her accomplices, Airbag. Let's first talk about Alyssa Mercante, shall we? I first heard about the whore of Kotaku from a Dimitri Monroe video about Gamergate 2. The video in question is called Your Optics Don't Actually Matter, the lesson Gamergate failed to learn. It's a very good video, I watched it on stream before. It was from that video that I learned what kind of gutter trash game quote-unquote journalist outlets hire, this specific kind of gutter trash being online prostitutes. As the Gamergate 2 drama continued to rage on, Alyssa would continue to make herself look like an asshole, in addition to looking clinically insane. Naturally, something this big and this autistic would attract the people of the Kiwi farms to make their initial post on her. It was from that post that I learned just how much of a disgusting whore she truly is. I still have PTSD from looking at all those horrific pictures. The first question I asked myself after reading that whole thing is, why the fuck would anybody want to date that thing? But then again, leftist men with no testosterone would of course find that thing attractive. With that said, let's get to the reasons why I utterly despise her. First things first, Alyssa Mercante is very much the type of leftist who has double standards, for if she didn't have double standards, she'd have no standards. This translates into her trying to find a target to start a harassment campaign against, sending her legion of simp followers to harass said target, and when the fans of said target, or just bystanders with a sense of morality, notice this, she says, "I'm being harassed." But here's the thing, bitch. You started this. That whole game plan is the basis for her lawsuit against Smash JT. Though with the way that case is going, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I can't really say who's exactly winning right now, because both parties have made some serious mistakes. But at the beginning of that whole debacle, Alyssa did not have a case. Not to mention, she tried to go after the Kiwi farms. That is a very, very unwise thing to do. They have beaten lawsuits over and over and over again. There is no chance in hell you're going to be taking down that website. To say the least, she had a roaring head start to losing a case. Here's something that I noticed about Alyssa. She is very incapable of handling any sort of criticism. Why am I bringing up the obvious? Well, it's a noticeable pattern, that's for sure. If somebody were to say some well-thought-out criticism for her ideas, she would just start calling them names. Then, when somebody points out that she's acting like a child, she'll get all defensive and block you most likely. You guys can see how the farms thought that this is prime lolcow behavior. That's because it is. Also, if she's not starting harassment campaigns, she'll gladly join in on them, such is the case with Cabrutus. If you guys don't know who he is, he's basically the guy who made the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected curator page on Steam. Alyssa thought it was a good idea to join the side of the harassers. The harassers in question being Sweet Baby Inc., specifically Chris Kindred. The least grievous sin during this whole saga would be that god-awful puff piece that she made trying to defend Sweet Baby Inc. from Le Gamers. And when she got criticized for her horrendous take, of course she'd go down the cry bully route. But despite all that I've said, she still managed to find a legion of simps who will defend her every word. And they're quite pieces of work themselves. Let's start talking about arguably her most deranged orbiter, Airbag, or Dave Rivera. I first found out about this riveting specimen that you see on the screen here from my good friend and stream mod El Sheffo. I didn't have an X account at the time, but he would frequently send me screenshots of all of Dave's hijinks and horrible takes. If there were a few traits that I could pick up on him while reading those posts, it would be contrarianism and psychopathy. Like with Alyssa Mercante, the Kiwi Farms have also been great at archiving all of his nonsense. Hell, it wasn't all that long ago when I had my first interaction with him. He got banned off X a few months back, and he's basically been doing the Hydra approach when it comes to alt accounts. He tries his damnedest to pretend to be somebody else, but with the way he types, it's so fucking obvious that it's him. Out of all the posts that Sheffa would send me, I find the ones where he's being completely deranged to be the most entertaining, if you ask me. Oh boy, but speaking of that, let's actually get to the reasons why I despise him so much. If there's one image that truly makes him seethe every time it gets posted, it would be of his criminal record for malicious injury to personal property. And yes, if you saw the date correctly, you know that this was during the whole Summer of Love, aka the BLM riots. Yeah, he was one of those people. It would be correct to call him a public menace. Don't get me started on how much of a total creep the guy is too. There's photo evidence of that. Dave, buddy, before you try to get this video taken down for slander, I'll let you know that you posted these images, you faggot. For some weird reason, he has this propensity of wearing women's clothes. There's also some infamous images of him in a Sailor Moon costume, and I gotta say, if you're a guy wearing one of those costumes, I think there is something wrong with your head. It's a hunch that I have, but a hunch that's never proven wrong. That's not the only way he's a creep. Now, these images I'm not going to show you to spare your guys' sanity, and also it would be against YouTube terms of service, but there are many images that he has posted in the past of him showing his bare ass or his pants down, though with no bird, thank the Lord. He thinks he's being edgy or subversive, but no, he's actually a prick. Of course, I don't want to forget about the elephant in the room, that being his severe hatred of Grums. Keep in mind, I don't like Grums myself. He's a rather sketchy figure, and I think if people on my side of the political aisle keep taking his side, I think we're gonna suffer long term for it. That aside, Airbagged basically wants to kill the guy, even though he wasn't a supporter of Ember at all. He's not like Mick Dizzle or several of the other former Ember supporters who want to call out Mark for his scummy behavior. Dave is a petty little vindictive bitch whose MO is to be contrarian for the sole purpose of being contrarian. In that regard, he's the epitome of a leftist. He sees a post from a right-wing account and his immediate stance is to take the contrary position. For instance, Vera Dark made a post about the retardedness that is female custodies in Warhammer 40k. Can you guess what Dave's position on female custodies are? Just by hearing that, if you guessed to the contrary, you'd be right. For the most part. Don't forget to add the vitriol in there too. He was exactly like this throughout the entirety of the 2024 presidential campaigns. My goodness, the salt. Mwah! Legendary. Could you guys imagine a 5-foot, 130-pound manlet telling you that he's gonna kill you? That's fucking hilarious, dude. You don't lift weights, you don't know any form of martial art, all you do all day is sit on Twitter and just post the most retarded bullshit to own the chuds. Keep dreaming, kid, and I know that you're older than me. But going back to Grums for a second, Dave was basically the trendsetter for the whole Grums hammer gifts. Don't get me wrong, I want the guy to shut the fuck up too, but I don't think he should die. I want to get personal with this next instance right here. This man has never heard of Orthodox Christianity before, and has never seen an Orthodox cross for the life of him. And he's basically talking to me like how a minor would talk to somebody on the internet and say, "Bro, what kind of cross is that?" Act your age, Dave, and do some fucking research for once in your life. Alrighty, let's wrap this up, shall we? Ultimately, both Airbagged and Alyssa Mercante are basically made for each other, let's be real. They're basically the same fucking person, but one's a woman and somehow a journalist, and the other is just this guy who has way too much free time on his hands and has zero hobbies. They're both clinically insane, and the one place that they should ever end up together in is a psych ward. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoy my roast of these two degenerates. You know, it doesn't surprise me that somebody who looks like this would be complaining about the things that she complains about. And yeesh, I thought I was a drunk, looking into this bitch's Kiwi Farms thread. Oh my goodness. She is quite the drinker, I'll tell you that much. She even got a horrendous looking tattoo on her leg, all because she likes a certain brand of alcohol. I forget the name, but it's probably shit because she likes it. But let's look at this prime specimen some more. As we can see, we have the nose ring, albeit rather pixelated. We have the weird grandma-looking glasses with orange lenses. The short, unkempt hair, the weird earrings, and a choker for some goddamn reason. We're not even seeing some of the worst features that this creature has to offer, but I could come with a proper diagnosis that she is suffering from ideological possession, because only that condition can possibly make somebody look this ugly by their own volition. Let's take a look at this meme of her that perfectly represents her nature. So, as we can see, come fight me physically, bitch. And Vera Dark, the person who she tried to pick a literal fight with, said, I'll fight you. And then some other guy said, I forgot who he was, I'll fight you too. And Keem said, I'll set it up. And then Alyssa, frog-looking bitch that she is, just retreats back into her little echo chamber and blocks Vera Dark. And not gonna lie, Vera was very much looking forward to that boxing match, but then again, Alyssa would have been totally bodied. But she always has to have the last word in every single conversation she's in. You guys should be glad I don't have a worse picture of Alyssa Mercante. My eyes have been tainted by things that no man should be seeing. There's a reason why she's called the whore of Kotaku. But honestly, you think she's bad. Man, you have not seen what Dave Rivera looks like. This is his mugshot when he was caught doing some vandalism work for Antifa. Yes, he has an actual criminal record, which I have mentioned in the video before the roast section. And this is what he fucking looked like. We have the stoner eyes. We have the lack of a trapezius muscle, the unkempt facial hair, and the unkempt pink hair. Ladies, how are you not wet at the sight of this guy? It beats me. But this is the worst picture I could find of him. Why the fuck is he in a Sailor Moon costume? First time seeing this, I had no words, and I still have no words. Even the guy in the shitty Sonic costume looks better than he does, and he's zonked out of his mind, if you couldn't tell by, how he's looking at the camera. Not gonna lie, they're both zonked out of their minds. After all, Dave is a fucking pothead, as I've established. Of course he's gonna be doing stupid shit like this. And not to mention the tattoos. That's something else Alyssa and Dave have in common. Truly, a match made in hell. With all that being said, I'll catch you guys next time.